The narcissist didn't discard you, but God removed them from your life. Have you ever found yourself asking, why did they leave? After a relationship with someone who seemed perfect at first, but ended up being manipulative, toxic, or emotionally draining. Maybe you've been ghosted, discarded, or suddenly pushed away by someone you thought you were close to. You might feel confused, rejected, and hurt. You might think that they left because something was wrong with you, but I'm here to tell you the truth. The narcissist didn't discard you. God removed them from your life to give you the opportunity to heal, grow, and walk into the future you deserve. It's hard to understand this while you're still feeling the sting of the separation, but trust me, there's a divine purpose at work here. The narcissist's sudden departure or their rejection of you is not a reflection of your worth. It's a divine intervention. You see, narcissists may appear charming, loving, and perfect in the beginning, but their true nature is revealed over time. And as you begin to awaken to the manipulation, deceit, and emotional toll of being involved with them, that's when God's hand enters. The narcissist didn't walk away because you weren't enough. They left because God knew you were worth more than the toxic relationship they created. Let's talk about why that is. Before we get into the heart of the matter, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone you think might need to hear this. Now let's dive into why you were removed from a narcissist's life and how it is ultimately a blessing in disguise. Narcissists, the hidden nature behind the charismatic facade. When we first meet a narcissist, they're often incredibly charming. They have an almost magnetic energy about them that draws you in. They shower you with attention, praise, and validation, making you feel special, wanted, and important. Their affection can feel like the answer to all your emotional needs. You might even believe that this is the person you've been searching for your whole life, someone who truly understands and appreciates you. However, as the relationship progresses, cracks begin to form. You start noticing that the narcissist is not really concerned with your feelings, thoughts, or well-being. They are only concerned with their own. At first, you may chalk up their selfish behavior to stress or some other excuse. But as time goes on, it becomes evident the narcissist is emotionally manipulative, self-centered, and only interested in maintaining control. And when you no longer fulfill their needs, their admiration turns to criticism, and the love you once thought you had turns into something much darker. The narcissist's need for control and admiration doesn't end. They begin to devalue you, making you feel as though you are not enough. You try to make things work, adjusting yourself to meet their expectations, but nothing ever seems good enough. Eventually, their behavior starts to break you down, making you question your own worth and self-esteem. But this is the critical point. This is when God is stepping in. The narcissist has done their damage, but God is here to show you that you are worth more than this abuse. When the narcissist decides to discard you, it's not about your inadequacy. It's about you outgrowing them. Understanding narcissist discard and why it's not about you. So why do narcissists discard people, particularly those who are emotionally invested in them? The truth is, narcissists don't discard people for the reasons you think. They discard people when those individuals stop serving their needs. Narcissists are often driven by their ego, and as long as you are feeding that ego, you are valuable to them. But once you no longer cater to their demands, show them admiration, or reflect the ideal image they want, they will cast you aside. The discard phase can be devastating. One moment, you are the center of their world, and the next, you are abandoned, ignored, or treated as though you never mattered. This sudden shift in behavior can leave you confused, questioning your worth. But this is where you need to understand a key point. Their rejection isn't about you being flawed. In fact, it's a sign that you are stronger than they ever realized. Narcissists are incapable of true, unconditional love. They view relationships as transactional. When the transaction no longer benefits them, they move on. But God, in His infinite wisdom, has a much better plan for you. When the narcissist exits your life, it's because your divine path is too great for their toxicity. God doesn't want you to remain in a relationship where you are manipulated, abused, or emotionally drained. He wants you to step into your true purpose and find peace, love, and joy beyond the confines of someone who only wants to use you. The divine removal, God's hand in the separation. When you are in a relationship with a narcissist, it's easy to lose yourself. Their manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional abuse can cause you to doubt your worth and question your reality. You might have spent years trying to fix them, hoping they would change or become the person you thought they could be. But that hope was never meant to be fulfilled because God knew it would never happen. That's why He orchestrates the end of these relationships, not as punishment, but as a protection. When the narcissist leaves, it's often a painful experience. You might feel as though you've lost something, or that you are somehow to blame for the failure of the relationship. But in reality, their departure is an act of mercy. God is protecting you from further harm. He is clearing the path for you to heal and grow. And while the journey may be difficult, it is a necessary one. The end of the narcissistic relationship is the beginning of your healing. It is important to remember that healing takes time. After the narcissist leaves, you may go through a period of confusion, anger, sadness, or even relief. All these emotions are valid, but through this process, you are being refined. You are shedding the old skin of self-doubt, manipulation, and toxic attachment. You are learning to trust your instincts and rebuild your self-esteem. God is not abandoning you in this moment. He is empowering you to rise above the situation and step into your true worth. The power of self-discovery after the narcissist. One of the most beautiful things that happens after a narcissist leaves is the opportunity for self-discovery. The narcissist made you feel small, invisible, and unimportant. But God is showing you that you are none of those things. You are worthy of love, respect, and joy, just as you are. When the narcissist is no longer in your life, you will begin to rediscover your passions, your talents, and the person you were always meant to be. During this time, take the opportunity to reconnect with yourself. Spend time doing things that make you happy. Explore new hobbies, rediscover old ones, and surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. You don't need the validation of a narcissist to know your worth. You are enough just as you are. The road ahead, trusting God's plan for your life. As you move forward, it's essential to remember that this journey is not just about moving on from the narcissist. It's about stepping into your divine purpose. God has a plan for you, one that is filled with love, peace, and fulfillment. The narcissist was never meant to be part of that plan, and their absence will make space for something far greater to come into your life. The road ahead may not always be easy, but it is worth it. You will learn to set boundaries, trust your instincts, and walk in the light of God's love. No longer will you seek approval from toxic people. Instead, you will learn to trust the voice inside you, the voice that tells you that you are deserving of everything good that is coming your way. Remember, the narcissist didn't discard you. You were removed from their life because you are too valuable to be part of their destructive narrative. This is your time to heal, grow, and step into the life you were always meant to live. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this video. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sometimes we need reminders that the pain we feel after losing someone is often a sign that we are being freed to live a better life. Trust that God is working in your favor, removing the people who are not meant to be in your story, and making way for the people who will love you for who you truly are. You are loved, you are worthy, and your journey is only just beginning. What triggers a narcissist to want you back after throwing you away? Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who seemed to toss you aside with no explanation, only to return weeks or months later, acting like nothing happened? If you've ever experienced a narcissistic relationship, this situation may feel painfully familiar. You may be left wondering, what triggers a narcissist to want you back after they've discarded you? What changes in their behavior? And more importantly, why do they return after you've finally started to heal and move on? In this article, we'll dive deep into the mind of a narcissist, examining the underlying emotional triggers, psychological patterns, and manipulative tactics they use to re-enter your life. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of the dynamics at play and why their return is often not about love, but about their insatiable need for validation and control. To understand why narcissists behave this way, we must first delve into their psychology. Narcissists are not driven by love in the conventional sense. Instead, they are primarily motivated by their deep need for admiration, control, and constant validation. In a relationship, they rely heavily on their partner to provide this validation, feeding their fragile ego. When you no longer fulfill this need, or when you stop being a reliable source of narcissistic supply, they discard you without hesitation. However, the narcissist's sense of self is deeply fragile, and their need for validation doesn't just disappear when you're no longer around. When they feel that their emotional supply is running low, or when they realize they've made a mistake by letting you go, they may attempt to reel you back in. But what triggers this sudden return? This video will explore the psychological mechanisms behind a narcissist's desire to reconnect with someone they've previously discarded. From narcissistic injury to the need for narcissistic supply, we will break down the core reasons that explain why a narcissist might want you back after they've thrown you away. We will also look at the manipulative tactics they use to reinstate control over your emotions, even when they have no genuine intention of improving the relationship. By the end, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to identify when a narcissist is attempting to manipulate you and how to protect yourself from falling back into their trap. Now let's explore these fascinating yet distressing patterns of narcissistic behavior. Before we begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who might be dealing with narcissistic individuals. This could be the turning point in understanding these toxic dynamics. Narcissistic injury, the catalyst for a return. The first critical psychological concept to understand when a narcissist returns after discarding you is narcissistic injury. This term refers to the emotional pain or wound that a narcissist experiences when their inflated sense of self is challenged. In most relationships with narcissists, they are the ones who hold the upper hand, constantly seeking admiration and reinforcing their sense of superiority. When you stop providing the level of validation they crave, they feel as if their grandiose image is threatened. The injury can occur when you stop giving them attention, when they see you moving on with your life, or when they are faced with the reality that they are no longer the center of your universe. For example, if you start dating someone new or engage in a new passion that brings you joy and fulfillment, it can trigger this wound. The narcissist views this as a threat to their identity and often feels the need to come back to fix the situation, not out of love or remorse, but because they are emotionally hurt by the idea that you could thrive without them. This narcissistic injury drives them to seek you out again. They might contact you under the pretense of wanting to reconnect or apologize, but the real motivation is rooted in their fragile self-esteem. The narcissist seeks validation and reassurance that they are still the most important person in your life. Your emotional detachment or independence triggers their deep need to reassert control over your attention. The need for narcissistic supply. One of the most significant driving factors behind a narcissist's desire to return is the concept of narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply refers to the attention, admiration, and validation that a narcissist requires to feel good about themselves. This supply is the fuel that feeds their ego, and without it, their sense of self can quickly deteriorate. When a narcissist discards you, it is often because they have found someone new to provide this supply, or because they feel that you are no longer serving their emotional needs. However, this supply is never guaranteed to last. The new person may fail to meet their unrealistic expectations, or may grow tired of their manipulative behavior. As a result, the narcissist may begin to feel depleted or dissatisfied with their new source of supply, and look for a way to reignite the admiration and validation it once received from you. When they return, it's not because they miss you as a person, but because they see you as a convenient source of supply. They know that you once admired them, provided emotional support, and made them feel important. The narcissist may believe that they can quickly regain this supply and restore their sense of self-worth without having to do any real emotional work. It's important to note that the narcissist does not see relationships as reciprocal. They are not interested in mutual care or love, but rather in extracting admiration, validation, and loyalty from others. When they return to you, it is often because they perceive you as an easy or reliable source of supply. The cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard. Another core dynamic that explains why narcissists return after throwing you away is the cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard. This is a pattern that is common in narcissistic relationships. At the beginning of the relationship, the narcissist may love bomb you, showering you with attention, affection, and compliments. This idealization phase makes you feel as though you're the most important person in their world. However, as time goes on, the narcissist begins to devalue you, often without explanation. They might criticize you, make you feel inadequate, or push you away emotionally. Once they have successfully devalued you, they will discard you without remorse. This discarding phase leaves you feeling emotionally drained, confused, and rejected. But here's the critical part. The cycle doesn't always end there. When the narcissist feels bored, lonely, or lacks a sufficient supply, they may return to you, only to re-idealize you once again.